Supra today, and I wanted to talk about the history of the car and everything I have planned moving forward with it. I'll try to hit on everything. If I don't hit something that you want to know about, feel free to ask in the comments and I will try to answer that. So I bought this car not brand new. I bought it completely stock, as I said, in 2017. I was stationed in Japan at the time, and I found it. I was on a pretty strict timeline of production dates and all that stuff, so that it would be 25 when I was leaving to come back to the States. I went and looked at it and was happy with it, drove it, and decided to pull the trigger on it. It's a twin turbo automatic. Obviously I wanted a 6-speed twin turbo, but I wasn't able to afford the prices when they had started going up. I was either going to get a twin turbo auto or a NA 5-speed, and I figured it'd be better off getting the twin turbo automatic and then swapping a manual in at a later date. So that's how I ended up looking at this car and was happy enough with it. I think it had about 120,000 miles on it. Obviously kilometers, it's right-hand drive. But I was happy with it, and it was stock, and I enjoyed it. I drove it in Japan for a little over a year before I shipped it back to the US. So here are some pictures of it as it's kind of been modified and gone from stock to where it is now. I had the opportunity to drive it in Japan and travel around with it and see some cool stuff. The plans that I have moving forward for it are kind of limited. There's not too many. I'm planning to do a manual 6-speed swap from Grannis Racing, which is a T56 transmission, and they make a whole kit out of it. So I'm planning on doing that, and I will film it and upload it and all that stuff, try to document it decently well. They do have it laid out pretty well on their YouTube channel as well, where they kind of go step by step and you can see the whole process of it. I want to do that first and enjoy the twin turbos in a manual configuration, and then from there I might look into doing single turbo and some power modifications later down the road. Something around 600 horsepower is my goal. So this is the exterior of the Supra. Obviously you can see I have intercooler and intake done, and that's about it engine wise for the time being. The suspension when I got this was completely blown, so I have some coilovers. I have no idea what brand they are to be honest with you. The wheels are Wedsport SA55Ms. I got those at Up Garage when I was living in Japan. The side skirts are Veris Ridix side skirts for the Supra, obviously. It's part of their Veris kit. They have a whole bumper and side skirt, rear bumper, diffuser, hood, everything kit. They need to be redone. I may end up just buying another set of them and just redoing them completely. As far as the back goes, everything is factory back here. Stock exhaust even. So that'll change hopefully when I do the transmission. I will plan to do the exhaust at the same time. So yeah, that's the modification I've done and kind of the overview of how it looks and how it sits now. As far as the interior goes, something weird about JDM Supras. The back seats, as you can see, are this black leather vinyl material, and the front seats came with gray cloth, unless they came with Recaros, confettis, whatever you want to call them. They came with a bluish gray cloth seat. I'll post a picture of it right here. And I ended up getting these seat covers and doing the reupholstery of those myself. It took me about 6 hours per seat. I didn't mess with the back. I just wanted it to match the fronts and the back, so I just wanted to match. So that took me, like I said, 6 hours each. And then I also got these gauges done by Stu. He did the gauge faces and the AC stuff. Converted everything to LED. They're very bright, which is fine by me. As far as my plans for the interior mods, I don't plan to change much interior that I haven't done already. The only thing that I can think of is possibly doing the faces of the dash with the carbon overlay panels that they have. When I do the power upgrades, I'm looking at doing a single turbo. I haven't decided which turbo, which exhaust, any of that kind of stuff. But I am planning to go with a Link ECU. They're plug and play, pretty easy to set up from what I understand, and going that route. Like I said earlier, looking around 600-ish. I don't need to have a 1,000 horsepower Supra. So with the car being almost 30 years old, it has some stuff that needed to be replaced, and it still has some stuff that needs some work. For example, the mirror on the passenger side somehow was cracked. The outside of it was fine, but the glass itself was cracked, so I replaced that. The hatch struts were blown, so I replaced those as well. This guy next to me wants to race me, apparently. Very fast. The seats obviously were kind of a in-between on upgrading and restoring. The speakers in the back were blown, so I did those as well as upgrading them. I upgraded the fronts at the same time. The factory are like 4.5-inch speakers or something, so they sell a kit where you can fit a 6 or 6.5-inch speaker in the front door, so I did that as well. There's some body work that needs to take place on the car. Nothing crazy, but like small areas need a little love, and the whole car needs a respray, so that'll happen later down the road too. I'm planning on doing transmission and then probably the body work, and then maybe looking at the power stuff. Everything's kind of in my head laid out a little bit, but it's kind of open to move stuff around if I need. But that's the general idea of currently what I have planned is transmission, body work and paint, and then do the power adders and stuff later down the road. Overall, the next modifications for the Supra are going to be the transmission and hopefully exhaust system. The transmission is priority, and I probably would have done it already if this didn't pop up for sale, because the money for that was about set aside, and the RX-7 popped up. So I had to make a decision, and that decision came down to buying the RX-7 and restarting, saving up cash for the transmission swap on the Supra. So that'll be hopefully I'll have the money for that this coming winter in 2022. So what is that, 9 months away or so, give or take. We'll be doing the transmission, and I will try to document it and post it, and hopefully it's a seamless process. Only time will tell. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for checking out the Supra. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions that I didn't cover and you want to know about them, feel free to ask in the comments, and I will try to get to you and answer your questions. And yeah, until next time, thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for liking and subscribing and all that jazz. And I'll see you on the next video, whatever it is. So take it easy, and I'll see you then. Bye.